We're taking a deep dive into the debate over redistricting in Maryland and why not everyone is on board with the governor's plans. Governor Moore has expressed a desire to redraw congressional district maps in Maryland. It comes after other states, including Texas and California, launched efforts to redistrict earlier this year.
Of 8 districts, you only have 1 Republican. Do you really think Maryland is drawn in an unfair way right now?
I think that the reason that I ordered the governor's redistricting advisory commission is because I want to make sure that we can have a bipartisan group being able to look at the maps in the state of Maryland. This is something that happens every single...
You don't think these maps are fair now?
This is something that happens every single decade. And if other states are going to have this process and go through this journey of identifying whether or not they have fair maps in a mid-decade cycle, then so should Maryland.
Earlier this month, the governor reestablished a commission to oversee the redistricting process. Maryland Republicans say if the commission suggests a partisan redistricting, they'll fight it in court.
There will be litigation. There will be lawsuits. They will be filed timely.
Let's take a look at how we got here in the first place. For months, the redistricting battle in Maryland has been brewing.
I think it's too early to tell.
Other states across the country picked up mid-cycle redistricting. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed the state's new congressional map into law favoring Republicans. Then California responded by drawing new boundaries boosting Democrats' representation. Voters approved that with the passage of Prop 50 in November. As the mid-cycle fights spread, more states joined in. North Carolina and Missouri changed their maps. Other states are taking up the issue now, and it's being considered in more, including here in Maryland.
And we want to determine, do we have fair maps right now?
But Senate President Bill Ferguson, who had been apprehensive to jumping in, drew a line in the sand.
My recommendation to caucus was that the risks were just too great.
Sending this confidential memo obtained by Fox 45 News to his caucus members, the Democrat from Baltimore wrote his concerns were rooted in potential legal and political risks. But the backlash, fierce and swift. Virginia Democrats offering choice words for their counterpart in Maryland. Governor Moore said the leader of the Senate is just one person.
There is no way that this would have moved in the way that it did without one-on-one and deep conversations.
Days later, Governor Moore announced he's moving forward anyway, launching a redistricting commission to hear from Marylanders.
When I'm seeing that we have a White House that is picking and choosing which states that they think should go through processes of determining whether or not they have fair maps and then telling other states that they should just sit down and be quiet. I just have a fundamental disagreement.
That commission meeting for the first time November 11th.
We're hoping to get this all done pretty quickly.
Led by U.S. Senator Angela Alsobrooks. The commission also includes former Attorney General Brian Frosh, Cumberland's Mayor Ray Morris, a Republican, House Speaker Adrian Jones's designee, Delegate C.T. Wilson, and Senate President Ferguson, who at times during the first organizational meeting appeared frustrated with the plans for the group.
And the timeline do we have for all this to get done?
Alsobrooks says time is of the essence, but has yet to provide a concrete timeline. But Ferguson is not immune to pushback. The Washington Post editorial board calling Governor Moore's commission embarrassing, though the governor doesn't seem to care.
I can respond to the Washington Post with 5 letters, IDGAF.
Well, Governor Moore says the commission will listen to Marylanders. The actual goal of the commission isn't even clear by some of its members. Meanwhile, Republicans argue Governor Moore is taking direction from Washington.
Governor Moore loves to say that he bows down to no one, referring to President Trump. Yet he has no problem taking his redistricting marching orders from Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer.
Jeffries later praising the governor for launching the commission, and most recently, Kamala Harris weighing in and touting the governor's work too. Well, Governor Moore says he's looking for fair maps in the state. Critics like Senate Minority Leader Steve Hershey say the governor is simply trying to draw Republicans out of representation.
I think it's absolutely what his plan is to eliminate the lone Republican that Maryland has in Congress.
When pressed on that idea, what do you say to them who are concerned that if this does go forward, they would be completely cut out of the representation in Congress when right now there's 30% of registered voters are Republicans in Maryland?
Well, I don't think that's the case. The point of this is not disenfranchising people. The point is enfranchising people.
So would you be okay if the map ended up being 5-3?
I just want to make sure that Maryland has fair maps.
Not a direct yes or no from Governor Moore on the map makeup.
It could be that you would redistrict the state of Maryland that has only 1 Republican seat And if you don't draw it just right, and if you don't know what the voters are going to do, you could get 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans quite by accident.
Dr. Roger Hartley is the Dean of the College of Public Affairs at the University of Baltimore. Do you think that this is an opportunity or a way for the governor to continue raising his national profile, given all eyes are on 2028 and whether he's going to run for president?
Absolutely. And I think to Democrat voters, especially those in primaries who lean a little bit more left and want something done about what's happening in Washington now. On the other side, Republicans feel the same way. It's happening on both sides of the aisle. But, you know, for those of us that like to see good government and those of us that like to see fairness, you know, I think this moment in time, as a lot of people are saying, is a moment in time that we're going to look back on and say this wasn't the best thing for our country.
As the commission continues meeting, the idea of a special session looms overhead.
What happens if he does call it? Is there a requirement that you, as the Senate president, take up redistricting, even if you don't want to?
No, look, you know, the governor always has the right to call a special session. At that point, it's in the hands of the presiding officers as to how things proceed. I feel very confident about where we landed. And at the end of the day, if we're not leading from values, it's not worth doing the job in the first place.